Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here on this sunny and kind of smoky afternoon to talk about plant diseases. Specifically, I want to talk just a little bit in general about bacteria, fungi, and viruses that can affect your plants and what you can do in general to mitigate some of the damage or to spot the problems early and handle it as best you can so you don't lose all your precious plants. And I will maybe do a video where I talk specifically about different plant diseases you might see. But for now, we're just going to talk about general best practices to keep your plants as healthy and happy as they possibly can be, because a healthy plant produces better. So let's get into it. So bacteria, fungi, and viruses disfigure or discolor leaves or flowers. They maybe produce powdery or moldy films or spots, and they rot the stems and the roots. Knowing whether a disease is fungal, viral, or bacterial can help you treat it. But a variety of problems besides diseases can cause symptoms of ill health, including pests and water stress and air pollution, nutrient problems, and too much or too little sunlight. So sometimes it can be difficult to tell, do I have a bacteria or virus attacking my plant? Is this a fungus? Or is it just annoyed because I didn't water it enough, especially squash plants? Squash are very dramatic. Sometimes their biggest problem is they don't think you give them enough water this morning. So they're acting all dramatic and like they definitely have a fungal problem. And then you water them and they go, never mind, I'm fine. So it can be a little difficult to tell. Additionally, while diseases such as powdery mildew have characteristic signs and symptoms, many others cause similar looking damage, making them kind of difficult to identify. In cases where you can't be certain of the identity of a disease, you can usually take samples of the diseased tissue to a nursery or your local garden center. They probably have somebody there who can help you. Okay, if you're not sure what you're looking at, yeah, you can use like Google Lens and stuff to help, but if you really can't figure it out, your local garden center can probably help. They have seen it all because every year they're trying to keep their plants alive so they can sell them to the public. So go in with your samples and say, hey, do you know what might be wrong here? And they'll probably even have the products in stock to help you. So don't discount getting a little help from your local garden center. Now, plant diseases can be difficult to treat, so it's best to do everything you can to avoid them in the first place. Rotate annual plants so their diseases don't have a chance to build up in the soil. Seek out resistant plants that are resistant to disease in your area, and take good care of your plants. Water them well, feed them, because you can't just plant them in the ground and hope for the best unless you have very fertile soil. They're going to need a little bit of plant food to help them get through the season. So give them plants, and well-fed plants grown in good soil are less susceptible to diseases, and they're better able to tolerate the diseases they do get. You also want to make sure you have good air circulation. So don't plant things so close together that they're all just smushed against each other. Poor air circulation breeds fungal diseases. Plant at recommended spacings or thin them out if you have to. Yes, I know I tend to have jungles, but I do go pull out what is really overcrowded so that the air can circulate in between there. If your stems of your plants are pushed up against each other, their air can't get in there to move things around, and you're just asking for a fungal problem. Okay, so keep that air moving. Monitor your plants regularly for diseases, because if you can spot the disease early, you might be able to do something about it. Keep an eye on your leaves and the limbs of your plant instead of the stalk, because once the stalk gets diseased, you're in trouble. But if you can keep an eye on the limbs and the leaves, you might be able to remove the diseased part of the plant. Go to where it looks diseased and then go further in towards the stem. Take off that entire growth, the entire area that's diseased, and then throw it in the trash. Don't throw it on the ground. Don't throw it in your compost, because that's a diseased part of a plant. You want to get rid of it. Okay, don't keep it. Throw it in the trash or in your fire pit. Don't compost it. Don't drop it on the ground. You want to get rid of it if you can. And after cutting a part of diseased plant off the plant itself, You want to clean the tool you use to do it with. So if you used your pruning shears, which pretty much all of us are using around our plants, we're like, oh, we'll just snip that off. Go and sterilize them. You can put them in boiling water. You can wipe them with a disinfectant. However you like to sterilize your tools works just fine. But definitely make sure you are doing something to remove the disease from your specific tool that you used to clean up that plant. Because if you don't, you are going to just be reintroducing that disease to the next plant you trim. So make sure you are having plenty of air circulation, make sure you are taking proper care of your plants, and do spot diseases early, because if you spot them early enough, you can just cut them off and probably the plant will be fine. In most cases, the plant will be perfectly fine because you removed the dead tissue, okay? So it's definitely worth just taking a few minutes a day just to glance over your garden, see if you see anything. See if you see any pests near the roots. See if you see anything getting eaten. See if you see the bottoms of your tomatoes, or check things. The more you check, the more likely you will be to spot something and be able to treat it before it happens. So in general, when you're treating, you are going, if it's an insect, you're going to be using often powders for your garden. If it's a disease, you're going to be removing the diseased section. Some fungi and that, you have sprays you can use to help the plants recover. It depends on what specifically is wrong, but generally removing the diseased part of the plant, not putting it in the soil. If you drop it in the soil at your feet, you're just reintroducing it. But if you make sure to clean everything up, remove all the diseased parts, and keep a really close eye on your plants for any pests and diseases that are encroaching on your plants, you will have a better experience. So don't just plant and forget. Plant and keep an eye. I mean, you planted the garden because you enjoy it, right? Go out and make sure your plants are healthy. Anyway, that is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. I just wanted to remind everyone, take good care of your plants through this growing season, because you do want to make sure you're able to harvest in the fall. We'll see you tomorrow.